Hi, my name's Ben. I work for the Game House, and we're continuing our series on each division and each team's first quarter report card. The Commanders helped us start Week 5 on Thursday night, so I'm getting this one and the NFC North one out first. And speaking of the Commanders, we're just going to start here. Commanders with a 16-20 win over the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been tougher than we imagined they would be starting out the year, so this is actually a pretty good win in my opinion. 35-33 over the hapless Broncos. The Broncos have been very bad. Their only win coming on a 31-point comeback in the second half, and they also lost by 50, so you can't be too impressed by the 2-point win. But again, was anyone expecting so much out of the Commanders? I don't know. So being 2-0 at that point was actually huge. The Bills, after a first week stumble to the Jets, who kind of seemed destined to win that first game after Aaron Rodgers went down, 37-3, absolute drubbing, complete blowout. Can't be too impressed by that. And then a 34-31 loss to the Eagles. Now, I didn't see all of this game, but from what I saw, the Commanders could have easily won this game. Some dicey officiating, some weird plays here or there, so you almost got to give them a win there, especially because it was in overtime, or be impressed with them to the point of a win there is what I actually mean. So overall, for a report card, you got to give them a B+. I think they've been playing well beyond the standards that a lot of NFL fans thought they would so far this year. Again, this is just the first quarter. Are they going to go downhill? Probably. I mean, Sam Howell did throw 4 interceptions in that Bills game, so B+ seems just about right for right now, just for the impressive factor. We will continue on with the Cowboys. They absolutely destroyed the Giants 40-0 in the first night game of the year. Not a lot to say about that, other than the defense is absolutely dominant and worth a good player or two in your fantasy league if you want to make a trade for him. Beat the Jets 30-10 in Zach Wilson's first real start after Aaron Rodgers went down. 28-16 embarrassing loss to the Cardinals. Again, the Cardinals have been scrappy. They've been tougher than people imagined, but a lot of people have the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game this year, especially after their first 2 games where they absolutely blew their opponents out. So it's a really, really bad loss. And then a great bounce-back win against the Patriots, who, let's be honest, offensively aren't fantastic. I think you have to give the Cowboys a B- to a C+ here. Yes, they've blown out some bad offenses, some bad opponents, but they also lost to one of the worst teams in the league as far as talent goes. So C+ sounds about right. They're really going to have to pick it up, especially on offense and especially in the red zone if they want to make it all the way to the NFC Championship game this year. All right, and now we'll jump to the Eagles, who started the year with a win over the Patriots, 25-20. Now, you have to look at this game as giving Bill Belichick extra time because they knew they were going to play the Eagles the first week of the year. You give them most of the offseason to think about it. This is where Bill Belichick shines. So 25-20, actually a decent win for a Bill Belichick coach team with a lot of time to prepare for what they do. 34-28 win against the Vikings, who have been bad this year. Would like to see a bigger score there, would like to see a bigger margin of victory, but still, a win's a win over a team that we didn't know was quite this bad. 25-11 over the Buccaneers. Actually pretty big because the Buccaneers have been great under Baker Mayfield. He's throwing the ball well. He's finding his best players. So the defense really stepped up there. Really interesting game. If you haven't watched the highlights, if you're not a big NFC East or South fan, go back and watch the highlights. It was an interesting game. And then 34-31 over the Commanders, as I already talked about. This was apparently a very, very, very close game with some difficult calls and some weird things going on. But the Eagles did come out with the win, and I think the most important thing to look at is the Eagles haven't been playing their best football, and they're 4-0. How many teams can say that? Not a lot. So if they're not playing their best football and they're 4-0, I think you have to be really excited for the future, for the rest of the season, for the other 3 quarters of the season. But you still give them a B just because they're not playing their best. I think that's fair, and also obviously a lot of room to grow. And then finally, we're looking at the Giants, who did win a playoff game last year, but have not been playing like a playoff team. Lost 40-0 to the Cowboys. Could get absolutely nothing going on offense. Daniel Jones was completely lost in that game. 31-28 win against the Cardinals. That came with an absolutely huge comeback. All Daniel Jones led. So for everything he did badly in the Giants game, he did really, really well in the game against the Cardinals. Came back to win a furious comeback there. Got to give him a lot of credit, even though it's against a team that is kind of devoid of talent, even though they're playing hard. 30-12 loss against the 49ers. Look, the 49ers haven't lost. They've looked like the best team in the NFC right now. Hard to give them too hard a time about this one, but still, a loss is a loss. And then Monday's game against the Seahawks when Daniel Jones threw a pick six, was sacked 10 times. Really, really awful stuff there. Can't be impressed at all. No real bright spots to look at in that one. So I think you give the Giants a D-. Not quite an F. The only thing that brings them up from an F is that win against the Cardinals, in which Daniel Jones put the team on his back and brought him all the way back. But just an awful year so far for a playoff team last year. But that's the NFC East. Let me know what your grades would be down below, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it.